Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni says he plans to invite French President Emmanuel Macron for talks. The meeting will explore ways to resolve the conflict in neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. The DRC is battling rebel activity in large swaths of the eastern region. One of the main armed groups there is the notorious M23 rebel group. The M23 have recently made gains against the army to occupy a strategic border town and areas around it in northern Kivu province. President Macron last month met the leaders of Rwanda and the DRC on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. They discussed how to put an end to activities of armed groups in the DR Congo. We speak now to Uganda political analyst and journalist Monday Akol Amazima. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Monday. Let's just start with the sidelines of the General Assembly, what the outcome of those closed-door talks would have been. Would there have been a strategy that would have been outlined?
Well, what I can say is that the conflict in eastern DRC, of course, requires a global attention. And therefore, the discussions at whatever level are always welcome, so that they can come up with a long-lasting solution to the conflict that actually has left many homeless, has left many losing their lives and property.
Now, the fact that President Yoweri Museveni wants to invite the French president to talk about how to deal with a problem in his neighbor's border, while of course the security of Uganda itself is under threat in instances. Is that something that sits well, is understood with people in Uganda or even in the DRC or Rwanda?
Of course, this is an approach that requires the world's attention. But of course, we've seen President Yoweri Museveni time and again castigating the Western world, saying that African problems can only be addressed by Africans, that they can't lecture African leaders on issues of good governance. I think the problem in the Eastern DRC requires African leaders to embrace principles of good governance, to also embrace proper democratic practices that will put an end to what is happening in Eastern DRC. Then perhaps lastly is to empower the people in Eastern DRC Congo, because you see the people in this Eastern DRC Congo, most of them are not empowered, and actually the place itself is also not developed. So once the place is developed and the people are empowered, I believe that is the stepping stone.
When you say people are not involved, Monday, what exactly do you mean?
No, what I say, people are not empowered because ideally, you look at that part of Eastern DRC Congo, the people are poor. Their leaders are very rich because that is the leaders plunder the area, they loot the area, but the people are very poor. The infrastructure is not there. So once the people are poor and there is no proper infrastructure to help people develop, then it means such a community can always be manipulated. Now, you find that rebels, especially those who want to attack Uganda, those who want to attack Rwanda, will always find Eastern DRC Congo a safe haven because they know that there is no infrastructure there, and the regime in Kinshasa equally is more or less not concerned about what is going on in Eastern DRC.
So this is what I'm trying to understand. President Museveni wanting to reach out to President Macron. Has he articulated in full the wisdom of this move, particularly the fact that in parts of Western Africa and the Sahel region, they are not only rejecting the presence of French troops, but the involvement of France in the conflict resolution or the security arrangements there?
Well, I think reaching out to France, in my view, would not be the best approach, because we've known the role of France in as far as coups are concerned in West Africa. We've known the role of France in as far as plundering Africa is concerned. So my thinking would be is that, yes, of course, they can just talk to him, but the real solution to the problems in Eastern DRC Congo lies with our African leaders to put their acts together, to know that every part of Africa needs to be developed, and also to call upon the regime in Kinshasa to be accountable. Let us not have a regime in Kinshasa that only looks at perhaps Kinshasa and maybe Lubumbashi. We should have a regime in Kinshasa that looks at the plight of every Congolese, and also looks at consolidating itself in the territory of Congo.
So what I want to know is, has President Museveni himself explained why he's made the overture to President Macron? Has he outlined his reasons?
Well, the reasons he's talking about peace in Eastern DRC Congo. But of course, as a leader, as a Pan-African, he has to reach out to everyone. But I believe he knows the real solution, and perhaps he could be reaching out to the president, maybe for courtesy, and perhaps also seeing how the international community can join in solving this problem.
All right, Monday, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Ugandan political analyst and journalist Monday Akol Amazima.